Good morning. How y'all doing? I know I always say good morning, but I'm a night owl, so it is still kind of the morning for me. But I hope y'all are doing well, and I'm glad you've clicked on the video today. We're going to talk a lot of the same old stuff that we usually talk, but I've got some video game stuff I want to do today. And I know sometimes I do this every once in a while. I've told most of you before I am a sports gamer. I do like the video games, so we're going to talk a few Madden details, but that's going to be the third take. This is not going to be very long. Most of the stuff we're going to talk about today is the Vols in Omaha and Atlanta on their hot streak, and of course, we're going to end it off with some high school sports and some other local sports. But let's go ahead and get in the show. So let's see. First take, yeah, Vols still alive in Omaha as of the recording. For those of you that don't know, I record this now on Tuesday, and it goes out live on Wednesday. So I call it live. It's not live. It goes out on Wednesday. So what I know now is that the Vols lost to LSU, of course, the first game in Omaha, and then they defeated Stanford 6-4. They were down 4-0, come back, score 6 runs in the last 4 innings or so. To pull away for a 6-4 victory. And tonight, Tuesday night, they play LSU at 6 o'clock our time. I think it's 7 Eastern. That's correct, on ESPN, of course. So, they're alive. And, if it was up to them, I think they'd tell you they want to play LSU. And by the way, I don't have anything in my beard. I'm just getting old. It's gray hair. I promise. But, the Vols, they've got a chance. They're still alive. And I think if you ask them, they tell you they want LSU. I don't necessarily think they're scared of anybody. But one of the really unique things about this team is they lost 8 or 9 guys from last year's team. I mean, we're talking real players too. I mean, Drew Gilbert's moving his way up in the Astros farm system. Jordan Beck, I think, was selected in the second round. We're talking, real players that Trey Lipscomb's another one. The first baseman Luke Lipsius. I mean, there's quite a few names that Tennessee's missing out on from this year. But for the second time in 3 years, Tennessee is in Omaha, and quite frankly, should have been there last year, but really just blew it at home against Notre Dame in the Super. Original deserved to win. But this, I'm sorry, I thought my video went out for a second. Sorry about that. But this realistically should have been the third year in a row that Tennessee was in Omaha. It could have been the fourth year in a row if COVID, if the government didn't push some bullcrap flu on us, then it would have been 4 years in a row, which is amazing because I think it was this week 6 years ago when Tony Vitello was brought to Knoxville. Maybe not this week, but 6 years ago. He's been in Knoxville for six years now. And we know 2 out of the last 3 years he's been in Omaha. He's a lot of people don't like him. I get that he's kind of, brash or whatever the word is for it. But he's a heck of a baseball coach. And it doesn't really matter if you like him or not. He is a heck of a baseball coach, and the results show that. But like I said, they're still alive. They're in Omaha tonight. I don't know if they've announced a starter. By the way, Chase Burns, I don't know if y'all have been watching these games or not, but Chase Burns is just nuts. I don't know if y'all remember this, but a few years ago there was when the Guardians, they were then called the Cleveland Indians. I'm not scared to say that out loud, but a few years ago, Cleveland was in the playoffs, and Andrew Miller, that was his name. He was a lefty. He'd come out of the bullpen. They'd have a 1-run lead in like the 4th inning, and he'd come out and he would just shut down the rest of the game. And Chase Burns has really taken that role. He's coming out of the pen. He's throwing 100, and then he throws what might be the best slider in the country, one of the best sliders in the country. So he's throwing 100. He drops off some nasty breaking balls. He can come out there and, I mean, he's really just been nasty. And this is kind of, I hate to say this, but that was Tennessee. Tennessee's win against Stanford. That was their first win in Omaha since 2001. That 2001. That was a long time ago. He retired 18 of the 20 batters he faced. Chase Burns did against Stanford. He retired 18 of the 20 batters that he faced, including the final 10 Cardinal hitters in order to end the game and finish off his 5th win of the year. Of course, I'm reading that word for word from the little article that they wrote out. But LSU stayed alive. They beat Wake Forest, which, hey, Wake Forest is a good baseball team. But they just didn't have anything for LSU in the first. I only got to see the first few innings last night. I didn't catch the back end of the game. But yeah, LSU was just really far ahead of them. LSU's hot, and I think they're going to throw. They're probably going to throw that kid out there that, I mean, he pumps 100. So mano a mano. You know, I don't blame you. I mean, LSU, their back's against the wall. It's win or go home for them as well. So they, I don't blame them. I'd put my flamethrower on the mound too. I'd put my best guy out there. Like I said, you got to stay alive. So, we are going to move on to our second take, which was Atlanta. Right, the Braves are. I hope. There we go. Yeah. Okay. So all kinds of technical issues going on my end. My microphone's being funny. But we're going to go ahead and get to the second take. Braves continue hot streak. Atlanta decimated Colorado over the last weekend. I think they scored 41 runs in a 4-game series. The only thing that is truly bothering me at this current moment in time as a Braves fan is the fact that Spencer Strider has been throwing glorified batting practice in his last 2 outings. Luckily for him, he's got an opportunity to, right the ship tonight. Again, like I told you earlier, this is Tuesday for me. But tonight they face off. Atlanta faces off against the Philadelphia Phillies, who I don't know if any of you have looked at the standings or not, are currently in 3rd place in the National League East. You may be asking yourself, the Phillies, who have spent, I don't know, $16 trillion in the last 2 years on their payroll, they're in 3rd place. The Mets have to be in 2nd, right? Because they spent $500 billion. I used to be. It was just a M. It's just $500 million, but it's a lot of money. The Mets aren't in 2nd place. The Mets are in 4th place, and they're 6 games under 500. The Phillies have not been very good. The Mets have been crap. Guess who's really, really good? Miami. As good as Atlanta's been over the last, they're 20 games above 500. And in the month of June, they have the best record in baseball at 13-3. The bad thing for Atlanta is, guess who's got the 2nd best record in all of baseball in June? Miami. And Philadelphia, they're both 12-4. That's how bad Philadelphia's start was to the season. Atlanta is 20 games over 500, and Miami is 4.5 games back. Philadelphia is 3 games behind them, and New York is 4 games behind them. I love when the Mets are bad. I just love when the Mets are good for my soul. It genuinely brings me happiness, which not many things do. So the Mets being very bad is hilarious. The Phillies, I think they're heating up. Aaron Nola's ERA is like 4.66. As soon as that guy remembers he knows how to throw a baseball, I think he's going to be fine. Taijuan Walker, his ERA is high. I think it's like 4.3 something. Ranger Suarez, his ERA is only like 3 and some change, but he's only got a 1-2 record. So I don't know how many games he started. I don't understand why his ERA is so low or why his wins and decisions are so low. But Atlanta's been good. Atlanta's playing good baseball, and other, like I said, other than Spencer Strider having a few issues with mechanics in the last 2 starts, they've done just about everything else right. Sean Murphy did pull a hamstring the other day. That kind of sucks. He was leading. All vote getters at catcher for the National League. I foresee that might not be the case in a few weeks or so, especially if he misses some real time. I'd hate to see Sean Murphy miss out on his first career All-Star game because of a hamstring, or it looked like a hamstring. It's something to do with his leg. He pulled up, ripped one to the wall in one of the games last week, and you could see him. He was gonna head for second, but then he started to pull up a little bit, rounding around first. We've all been there. Any of us that have played baseball, we've all been there. Didn't stretch enough or whatever. I'm sure Murphy stretched enough. I was just fat when I was a kid, and I didn't stretch, and I'd round first, and if I didn't fall on my face, I might pull something. So, but I hope Sean gets healthy so he can come back. I want him to make his first All-Star game. I just wrote, it'll be in this week's paper that comes out today in Cheatham and tomorrow in Dixon. I wrote something about Alex Anthopoulos being a genius, and I believe that to be true because the Chicago Cubs are paying Dansby Swanson $25 million a year for the next 7 years. Atlanta is paying Orlando Arcia $2.5 million over the next 3 years. Orlando Arcia is like mathematically a tenth of the price of Dansby Swanson. And he's got more votes than Dansby right now to play shortstop. Orlando Arcia is the leading vote getter at shortstop in the National League. I don't know if that should necessarily be the case, but it is. And I think he definitely deserves some votes. He should definitely be in the All-Star game. I didn't think he'd be playing good enough to start, but he's got a .330 batting average. He's hitting for power. He's hitting clutch as well. I mean, I don't know how many people have watched throughout the season so far, but he's had a few really good clutch hits and clutch moments throughout the year to help the Braves win some games. So I want to see Orlando finish out this first half and get into that All-Star game. Ronald Acuna, if the season ended today, I think he would be the MVP. Pitching, Bryce Elder might get in the All-Star game as a pitcher. He might, up until he had a bad start. I think it was 2 starts ago, and he gave up a few earned runs, and it messed with his ERA. But other than that, I mean, Bryce Elder's been really good. I don't know how either, because he's throwing like 86-mile-an-hour two-seamers that just are right over the middle of the plate. But every time they hit it, it's like it's dead contact. So good for him. I love it. He's eating up innings. He's pitching. He's pitching good baseball. So Atlanta just up and down. Every part of the team is playing well. Even the relievers, even though they're not as good as they've been in years past, I think the bullpen's pretty good. I think they've got some real talent. Got a lot of experience out there too. I hated to see that Jesse Chavez took one off the shin at like 95 miles an hour. He had been pitching so well. And then, he had been pitching so well. And then to catch one off your shin like that had to be painful. I hate that for him. But hopefully Jesse gets healthy and he makes his way back. I think that's it for Atlanta. Yeah, I mean they're just hot. I mean they're as good as can be right now in all of baseball. MLB, whoever makes these rankings, I don't know, but MLB dropped their power rankings yesterday. Of course, Tampa Bay's first. They are 50-20, 51-21 or something like that. They're like 30 games above 500. The Rays are nuts. I mean, they're really good. They're playing really good baseball. They deserve to be there. They also play in one of the hardest divisions in all of baseball. So you can't fault Tampa for being first. Like I said, they've been playing very, very good baseball in a very good division. One other thing too, just one other baseball thing, and then I'm done. And we're gonna get to our halftime. Arias, the Mets, the Miami Marlins. I believe he plays second base for them. He got his batting average back up to 400 the other day. We have not seen somebody hit 400 since Ted Williams in, what was that? The 40s? The 40s? That was a long time ago. I mean, we're talking World War II. That's how long ago it's been since somebody hit 400 in a season. And he's right there. I would love to see it. I would really love to see it. It wouldn't bother me a bit. I don't care if he plays for the Marlins. I'm glad he doesn't play for the Mets because I really wouldn't be rooting for him. But he plays for the Marlins. So it'd be fun. It'd be really fun to watch him hit 400. I hope he gets there. But we got a long way to go. He's probably going to start at second base in the All-Star game. I mean, surely to goodness, guy hitting 400, you'd think. He's going to get some MVP votes, too. Even if he doesn't hit 400, if he hits 375, he's going to get a few MVP votes. And Miami, like I said, they're only 4.5 games back of Atlanta. Atlanta's 20 games over 500. So if Miami plays the rest of the year like this, he hits 350, 375, he's going to get some MVP votes, and he deserves them. But we're going to go ahead. We got a commercial. I know you guys have had to deal with some technical difficulties, but that's okay. We're gonna watch a really short commercial real quick. I don't even know what's going to come up, so I can't vouch for it. But our media team put it together, so it's got to be good, right? So y'all go ahead and watch this, and we'll come right back.
Music City will be rocking June 23rd through the 25th with a different sound. The sound of NASCAR. The Ally 400 is back at Nashville Superspeedway, and this year, it's a night race. NASCAR in Nashville. It's guitars and fast cars under the lights. Visit NashvilleSuperspeedway.com to get your tickets today for the triple header weekend.
Hockey in Music City just hits different. It's one big honky-tonk party. It's the sea of gold in the crowd, the goals, the saves, the celebrations. It's an experience like no other. Experience Predators hockey all season long. Visit NashvillePredators.com/season tickets and join the Loyal Legion today. That's NashvillePredators.com/tickets, and we'll see you at Bridgestone Arena.
I actually like our commercials. It's not Pfizer, which is 80% of your commercials you see on TV now. Of course, only reason I know that is because I look at the I see a lot of conspiracy theory stuff, so I'm all against Pfizer. But most of the stuff I see is on YouTube, so I get no ads. I love my life without ads. I like ours though. Got some pretty cool music to it. Our guys and girls both work very, very hard on all the stuff that we put out. So it's cool. It's cool to see, different stuff that we're working on. Got the NASCAR race coming to Nashville. I got some buddies that are going to get some tickets to go watch that. They asked me if I wanted to go. I went and watched the NASCAR race a few years ago, and I thought it was going to kill me. I would swear to you that it was 125 degrees when I was there watching that race. And I'm going to be honest, the first 8 laps are really, really cool. After that, I just soon have air conditioning. Give me a box, watch this thing in, and a recliner. I'll watch it on a TV somewhere, but that's okay. Racing ain't like it used to be. That's old redneck saying. But it's true. I just really don't care much for watching NASCAR too much anymore. I felt that way since Daytona 2001. But regardless, we're not going to talk about Daytona. We're going to move on to the third take. Well, Madden. Which I told you guys we were going to talk just a little bit about sports or the video game sports. Yeah, we're in the middle of summer. There's just not, I could sit here and talk about baseball some more, but who cares? So, Madden has released some details about the upcoming video game. Uh, they have said that they're going to try and improve the franchise experience. They've been saying that for the last few years. If you guys play Madden, if you guys and girls out there, if you play Madden, you know what I mean. They have not worked on franchise at all. They don't care about franchise. All they care about is Ultimate Team, how they make their money, and they make an absurd amount of money doing it. But I'm hoping, when they say out loud that they're looking at franchise, maybe they are legitimately trying to fix a few things. There are some guys that have played the beta, which for those of you that don't know video game terms, the beta is like an early release of a video game, so you can check it out, test the bugs, see what happens, watch gameplay, stuff like that. So we've got a few details on franchise, and one other detail that I'm going to say for you in just a second. But franchise, they are returning. Hey, for you old heads, you remember Madden 04, Madden 05, and you had the corner coffin punt, and you had all the little mini games. They're bringing that back. It's going to be in franchise. I'm going to buy the game anyway, so I know I'm excited for that. I'm ready for the coffin corner punt. They've added over 20 mini games, I believe, that are going to act as like a training camp in the off season. That's cool. I think that's cool that they're trying to actively do that. The problem is free agency is still going to be ridiculous. It's going to be dumb. The draft is still scouting for the draft is still the most boring exercise or chore on the video game. I don't think the draft is going to be any better. It's going to be the same thing that it was. When you win the Super Bowl, it's going to be the same celebration that it's been for the last half a decade. There are going to be a lot of things that I don't like about the game. But, like I said, they are bringing back the mini games. There are a few other franchise details that have not really been shared yet. So I'm hoping and praying, really, that there are quite a few other things that kind of return Madden back to its former glory. So I'd really love to see that. I think that would be fantastic. For those of you that know me personally, you know that video games are a big part of my life. I do enjoy them and so it'd be really, really nice if somebody made a good one. I know there are good video games out there, but I want the games that I played to be good. I guess that's too hard to ask for sometimes. But the other thing I wanted to say for you is they're bringing back Superstar mode. It's not face of the franchise; it's Superstar, and this is going to coincide with next year NCAA football coming back out. And I know there are some of you. I know some of y'all are watching this, and you haven't played video games in years, but you're waiting. You're waiting next year in June, like it has been. It was 10 years ago, and it had been 15 years before that. Every June, EA Sports, it's in the game, and it would drop NCAA football. It'll be here. It'll be here. And we're literally less than 12 months away. If y'all can make it, we're going to get to the next NCAA football game. I'm so excited. That's going to coincide with the Superstar. Not it is Superstar. The Superstar mode that's coming back to Madden this year. They said it will have a few storyline details, but it's mostly just going to be working your way through the draft, getting drafted, and then trying to become the best player that you can. So I've got a few other ideas for that kind of mode, but that's on down the road. Hopefully they just make a game that works. I'm glad they're bringing some stuff back. I'd really like to see franchise excel, but we're going to have to wait and see. That's going to be it for Madden. We are going to go ahead and get into the fourth take, which is high school sports. And as most of you know, nobody's playing a whole lot of anything right now. Cheatham. Who else? Dixon County, Creekwood, and Cheatham County were all in a 7-on-7 last week in Clarksville. We had photos of that for Dixon and Creekwood and Cheatham, but I didn't run them in the Cheatham paper. I'll have that this week in the Cheatham paper. I need to run out there and talk to Gary, Coach Halstead at Cheatham County Central. I need to go check that out. It's about time to start making my football runs. I got to run around, start seeing some of these teams. Going to have a lot of teams with some new players, some new guys, and it's going to be exciting to see that. Also, just here in the Mid-State area, Davin Gleaves from Sycamore was named to the first team All Mid-State soccer team, and the Main Street Preps All Mid-State soccer team, and Harpist Jasper Tharp. That's hard to say, but he was named to the third team. So, congratulations to both of those young men. Tyler Turpin was just named the Sycamore soccer coach. I think I may have already told you guys that. I know we wrote up an article about it. Peyton Grove, of course, was announced as Dickson County softball coach. They're bringing her back. Peyton, of course, played for Dickson County. And she's going to bring a few of her friends that she played with. She's going to bring them with her. They're going to have a heck of a coaching staff, I think. Dickson County is going to be, they've been really good at softball forever. And I think they're going to continue that. I think Coach Grove is going to do a really good job. So I'm excited to see how all that works out. We've got approximately 5,000 Little League teams that are playing in some all-star stuff. So in the next few weeks, those teams are going to start to whittle down, and we're going to see some teams really start to push and make some really deep postseason pushes. So we'll have a better idea of what's going on there. But that's about all the time we got for today. Thank y'all for hanging out with me. I guess we'll see you guys next week.